This is hell. Am I dead?
Not yet. But you will be, unless you come with us.
If you're Loki's, you should always have a plan. Will someone please explain to me what the hell is going on?
The MCU has been growing at a blinding pace. The expansion is much faster now, as we aren't just getting more of the cosmos, but even more dimensions, timelines, and universes are coming into the mix. Nothing is off limits now. Marvel Studios seems to be pulling out all the necessary stops to keep things interesting. But there is a looming threat to storytelling that must be addressed before we move forward. We are referring to the new trend of variants in the MCU.
Things just got out of hand.
For the uninitiated, variants are basically the alternate versions of the same character coming from another timeline and universe.
Hello. Which one of us are you?
The term was first heard in Loki. The TVA used this word to describe creatures from the offshoot timelines. If you were the cause of a Nexus event and do not belong to the sacred timeline, then you are a variant. And if you're from a parallel universe version of the same character, then you are also a variant.
Hang on. You're telling me that thing's a Loki too?
Oh, yes.
Okay, fine. Willing to accept that.
But this is how Marvel introduced the concept to us. This is how they were able to tell us alternate stories like What If, and use the same concept to bring the other Spider-Men into the mix. But while these variants can be sources of unique storylines and total epicness,
who the hell are you?
I'm Peter Parker.
That's not possible.
I am Spider-Man.
their presence in the MCU can get quite problematic in the long term.
I mean, no, it's not real. I mean, there's magicians and stuff, but there's no, like...
Stop.
Up until now, the MCU has followed a linear path, mostly. During the Infinity Saga, we had the components of a normal franchise story. In Phase 1, we met our heroes. We explored their origins and saw them team up against a threat that none of them could handle separately. Then came Phase 2, which built upon the basic narrative and introduced some internal conflict and struggle for the heroes. This was necessary to build tension and passively set up the threat of Thanos.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Then came Phase 3 with all of its grandeur. Marvel Studios took a victory lap when Thanos descended and beat our heroes to a pulp while they were separated. But then they also explored the quantum realm just enough to hit a reset button on Infinity War. Some beloved heroes said goodbye to the franchise in Endgame, while others marched forward to introduce us to even more heroes. But the quantum realm became a gateway to bringing all dead characters back whenever Marvel feels like it. In Phase 4, Marvel is trying to create a story that goes beyond a single universe.
See you soon.
They are using the multiverse to bring back characters from the old and new Sony franchise, and maybe even Fox's franchise.
We should tell him the truth.
It is a good idea for sure. The exploration of infinite realities is something that would allow them to capitalize on old properties and truly monetize nostalgia.
Hey, it's me! Don't scratch!
Also, because Sony is collaborating with Marvel and Disney brought Fox, the multiversal transition became much easier and interesting. But Loki highlighted a glaring problem with Marvel's plan. You see, the God of Mischief was slain at the hands of Thanos at the start of Infinity War. We did not enjoy seeing a fan-favorite character perish, but we accepted it as a necessary sacrifice for the plot. We hoped that Marvel would let his death stand as a reminder of the stakes of their stories. But they brought the character back by using the multiverse and continued the story with the Loki variant as the lead. The studio essentially hit a reset button for the character.
Smart.
He became an anti-hero. Now don't take me wrong, Loki was an amazing show and Marvel handled it with so much care. So I'm not complaining. Not yet at least. But this was a variant of Loki from the Avengers. He was still not ready to be a part of the main MCU.
Puny God.
So the studio had him watch the entire plot of the Sacred Timeline in the TVA. Years of character development was written off as basic nature, and voila, we had a new Loki show. His original sacrifice was sort of rendered meaningless, or maybe not. We don't hate the Loki series, but my point is that using the multiverse is a slippery slope.
This is a nightmare.
Once you start bringing popular characters back from the dead using the almighty powers of the writing team, you may want to do it again and again.
Time loops. How lovely.
We've just seen 2 Spider-Men along with a few old Spider-Man villains who died in the past. And now people want to see almost every old character return from in and out of the MCU.
I want some more.
I bet you do, Brown Panther.
I mean, what if brought back Iron Man multiple times only to kill him again?
Whoa!
And now, Doctor Strange 2 is also bringing in an Iron Man variant with Tom Cruise. MCU's Iron Man snap was the biggest sacrificial moment, and yet, Marvel is not leaving the character behind. He is still proving to be a cash cow and will always pull in money for the studio. But they are bringing in Patrick Stewart's Professor X, who had also died multiple times in his universe. It all feels super exciting right now, but this trope does not take time to become oversaturated. We truly fear that character deaths might have no impact in future Marvel movies.
You're making me beat up grass!
Multiverse of Madness is proof that Marvel can kill any character they want, as they can always have a variant take their place ad infinitum. And this truly troubles us. We rue the day when the MCU might become nothing but a collection of variants with the original MCU characters nowhere to be found. I know this sounds like a bit of a drag, but the multiverse is exactly what killed the Arrowverse.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
The doppelgangers of main characters kept appearing, and we could no longer keep up. Caitlin Snow was suddenly transformed into Killer Frost.
Hello, Cisco. How great is this?
Time remnants of The Flash kept appearing.
Which one's Barry?
Both of them. He made a time remnant.
It was impossible to keep Reverse Flash out of the story, and it still is. Laurel Lance's doppelganger, Black Siren, became a series regular after the original Laurel died without any proper reasoning. Death and sacrifice lost their meaning. Moreover, the main villain was always a time traveler or someone from an alternate reality. The narrative got really boring really fast. Sure, the Crisis of Infinite Earths was an exciting event because it brought back old and new multiversal characters. But that's all this is good for. We hope that Marvel Studios understands this problem and deals with it in a timely manner.
Deal.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be their litmus test. If there are inconsequential deaths in that movie, then we will know that the studio is on the wrong path. We have nothing to do now but wait. After Doctor Strange 2, the multiverse concept will probably come into play in movies like Ant-Man 3 and perhaps even Deadpool.
Too exotic?
And it might go on until the Secret Wars event. But that's all that Marvel should do with it.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Charles Xavier.
Go f yourself.
The whole concept of multiple universes and timelines should be rested after Secret Wars. What do you guys think? Could Marvel be shooting themselves in both their feet using the multiverse? Or is it a true blessing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!